Hey, how's it going? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Utah Jazz could potentially be one of the next super teams of the NBA. Now, if you are new to this channel, which a good bit of you are, I have been getting a lot of new subscribers lately. So basically what this series is, I go through almost every single team in the NBA, at least the most interesting teams, and I say why I think those teams could be very, very good going into the next season. Now, I do this type of video for even teams that I know aren't going to be good next season, but I still think they could be interesting to watch. So I do this video about a lot of teams in the NBA, so don't get confused by the title. It's just the title that I use. So yeah, now that I got all that out of the way, if you do like the video, aim point, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. But without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the first reason for this video is going to be that their chemistry is already at a very high level. As you just look at their entire roster, their big three has now multiple years under their belt together. We saw just last year when Mike Conley was healthy, he played way more comfortable than he did this year than he did with his first season with the Utah Jazz. So we've seen them already start building their chemistry and start playing better and better together. That big three, I think, is going to be at their highest level of play going into next season, assuming that they can all stay healthy. I think their chemistry is going to be at the highest it can go, and they're going to really know how to play off of each other and know everybody's tendencies, and that big three is going to be very, very dominant going into next season, and they should be able to hit the ground running the second the season starts, because they're going into their third season. They now have 2 off seasons under their belt with each other. They're about to have 3 regular seasons under their belt with each other, and they should just be able to, like, out of the gate, play very, very good together, and there shouldn't be much of a learning curve or learning process going into next season. But even outside of that big three, really their entire roster has a very, very good level of chemistry, as if you look at their main group that they're going to be playing with next season, their team is very, very solid, as they have Royce O'Neal, Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson, and Joe Ingles, all of which have been with the team for multiple years at this point, which means that they should, as a team, be able to hit the ground running and should be able to get off to a very hot start, especially compared to a lot of other teams, because even the extremely talented, even more talented teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, who had tons of turnover this season, they're at least going to have a learning process when they're on the court that every team has to go through, at least every new team has to go through, and even like teams like the Chicago Bulls, especially them, who's a younger team that also has a lot of talent, but it's their first years playing together, at least for the majority of their new guys, it is going to be a kind of a learning process, and they might get off to a little bit of a rocky start, but the Utah Jazz should not run into that problem. They're very well coached, they're going to have very good chemistry, and they should be able to play at a high level from day one. So the Utah Jazz are probably going to be the 1 seed starting off this season. Like, they're going to go out to a very hot start, and they're going to have to rely on that hot start to last throughout the entire season for them to have a chance at the 1 or 2 seed going into the playoffs this year. Now, my second reason for this video is going to be that they know that their championship window, or their contending window, is going to be open right now, and it is right now. They have to take advantage of it this season or maybe next season, but after that, their window is going to close because Mike Conley is going to start to decline eventually. He's already, what, I think 32, 33, somewhere in that range, and it's only so long before he starts to decline, and that big three is no longer a big three, and it's more of a big two with Mike Conley being a solid veteran, and that is when their window is going to close. So if they're going to make a championship run in the playoffs, if they're going to be a contender, they have to do it in one of these next 2 seasons most likely, or their window is going to be shut, and they're going to have to rebuild, at least get another star on their roster, which is going to then mess up their chemistry more, and then they're going to have to just build back up from the bottom. So it is going to be very vital that they play very good this season, and hopefully them knowing that this is their window in these 2-year stretch, this is where they're going to be playing very hard. They're going to be driven to really get better, make each other better, play very hard, and really go for this championship in this 2-year stretch, because they're going to know after these 2 years we might no longer be legit finals contenders anymore, and we're going to have to start rebuilding the roster. The chemistry is going to go down, we're going to have to get new players in, and it just could really go south from there. So they have to know right now is where they have to play hard, really put their head down and grind through the seasons to really get that high playoff seeding, to get the home court advantage, and go for a championship run. So hopefully this is going to help motivate them, make them play harder, and really get like a fire lit under them to really start playing hard, and hopefully, like I said earlier, make a legit finals run going into the 2022 NBA season. And now my third reason for this video is going to be that they're elite on both sides of the ball. As last year they were ranked the 4th best defensive efficiency team in the entire NBA, meaning that their defense was the 4th best in the entire league last year. And then also they were ranked the 2nd in offensive efficiency, and that means they were the 2nd best offensive team by statistical measures, at least, as the 2nd best team last year. So that means that they were very, very good offensively and defensively, and you can definitely see that, as Donovan Mitchell is a solid defender, but can give you 50 points in the playoffs when you need him, and he has done it multiple times now in the playoffs, dropping these outrageous numbers in the playoffs and just really willing the Utah Jazz to win and helping them win series. And then they have Rudy Gobert, like a 5,000 times defensive player of the year now. Now, although he has got criticized for his lack of perimeter defense as a 7'3" center who can block the paint and pretty much lock down the rim by himself, I think you can give him a little bit of leeway when it comes to not being able to guard the perimeter, as he is still an elite paint defender and he can give any other team's big man fits no matter who he is, and he is one of the best centers in the entire NBA, especially when it comes to the defensive end. So with how good they are on both sides, that gives any team a chance to win a title. As to win a title, in my opinion, you have to be at least top 10 in both categories going into the playoffs. And if you're not that, if you're like you have an elite defense but not an elite offense, I think eventually that's going to catch up with you and you're not going to be able to beat one of the more elite teams. But when you're top 5 in both, and really in this case top 4 in both categories, well then that really gives you a chance to win a title, and you can beat any team on any given night, because any given night your defense can just lock down someone and then your offense can as well complement that elite defense. So anytime you have 2 elite sides of the basketball every single night, you have a chance to beat anyone on any given night in any playoff series going into that playoffs. And you're going to be extremely confident in yourself, and I think they are legit finals contenders, and that is why I think the Utah Jazz could potentially be a very, very good team going into this upcoming NBA season. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think that the Utah Jazz could be a super team next season? On your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did like the video, point that like button and subscribe button, that'd mean the absolute world to me. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it. So all glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah, blah.